Good morning, everyone. So, our guest is with us. Welcome, ma'am. Uh, we are just gonna wait for 2-3 more minutes to let everyone join. Okay, I think we should start now. So, I, Manisha Luthra, on the behalf of AAPG Panjab University Student Chapter and Department of Punjab University, Department of Geology, I welcome everyone present here, the students, especially our guest, Mrs. Neha Sharda ma'am, Seema ma'am, Patnaik sir. I welcome all of you. So today we have with us Mrs. Neha Sharda, and I would like to take an opportunity to give a brief introduction about her. She has been a topper throughout her graduation and post graduation studies, and she qualified very prestigious exams like JAM with All India rank 108 and GATE with 90% percentile and 90 percentile, and received a scholarship from MHRD as well. Later, he did her MTech in petroleum exploration from most prestigious ISM Dhanbad. She was selected for Schlumberger internship and Schlumberger University handshake program for DCS as a part of her MTech dissertation. Mrs. Neha Sharda has a prolific career of 10 years and in industry, and she has served as a geologist in Schlumberger, Jindal, Halliburton, and Cairn Limited. She has been awarded with some of the most prestigious awards: Schlumberger Reward of Excellence for Excellent Work at Geopic ONGC Dehradun, Dr. M.N. Bose Joshi Prize, and Appreciation Certificate, to name a few. So the list of her achievements keeps on going. So I think we all are very lucky to have such a personality with us. She's gonna help us. She's gonna help us know how to build a career in oil and gas sector in a globally competitive environment. So, on the behalf of Department of Geology, I would like to request Mrs. Neha Sharda ma'am to proceed in her talk.
Yeah, hello. Are you able to hear me? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
yes, Neha. Neha, we
Okay,
can
okay,
hear
yeah.
you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, sir. Good morning to everyone. I'm very happy to present here what are the career options in oil and gas to all the young aspirants, geologists who are studying in Punjab University. Punjab University have added graduation and post graduation from Punjab University Geology department. So I'm really happy to all the young geologists. What are the career options you can choose from in India or outside India? So let me start without any delay. Okay. 1 minute. Can you see? Hello?
No, ma'am, not yet.
It's not audible. Hello.
It's audible. It's audible, but we can't see your presentation yet. Uh, Go to your right. Maybe there is a present now, and try it
I
again.
did that. Uh, I did
Yeah.
that.
Okay. So maybe the slide is not your not. Actually, it's on your desktop.
Yes, yes, it's on the list.
Okay. 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 If there is some issue, you can mail me your slides. I can load it from here just in case.
Uh,
You can try. You can just try, but you can also
I
mail.
okay. Can I? Should I join again?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Most welcome. No problem.
Let me. Let me again. Okay. Now it's visible.
No, no, not yet.
Okay. What should I do? I should mail.
You can send me the PDF. I can give it a try, or you can send it to the APG student, the coordinator. Any of them. I can, if you send them, they can try and upload it.
Yeah. I'm sending.
All right, no problem.
Just send.
Yeah, I've got it. So I'll it'll just take 2 minutes.
You can share.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can
yeah,
share.
I'll try to share it. Just a moment. Then you can just tell me when to.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sure. Okay, can you all see this? I've already uploaded. Can you?
I can see.
Okay, great. All right. So, uh,
So let me start, sir.
okay, sure,
Yeah, so
sure.
first slide, just introduction careers in oil and gas. So this presentation is basically to geologists who want to make career in oil and gas, because I come from an oil and gas industry, so I can just speak on the experience of 11 years experience I had in service as well as expert E&P companies which I had. So next slide.
Okay,
So introduction that I did my MSc from Punjab University and MTech from Petroleum Exploration ISM Dhanbad. To get admission in ISM Dhanbad, I qualified GAIL exam, and I had 11 years of experience in service and exploration and production companies. I'm looking forward for new experience in oil and gas right now as well. The aspirant who wants to pursue petroleum in oil and gas, I have a bit of advice to them that either you can do and BSc and then go for MS in foreign countries, or you can do MSc from Punjab University itself, because the syllabus of Punjab University I did in 2007. It's been 13 years, so there is some modification in the syllabus also. So in my time, there was a small course in petroleum geology, but I don't know right now what is the syllabus. It must have been changed from that era, because it has been a decade now. But I was clear that I wanted to pursue my career in this industry. So, being aware of that, I actually qualified a GATE exam. I actually appeared for JAM as well after my BSc, but my rank was above 100, so I didn't get admission uh, in IITs. But when I qualified GATE exam, I got admission in Indian School of Mines and Bath, but right now it's IIT ISM. So they have changed the name from ISM to IIT right now, and I did a specialized course there. From there on, I got a job, campus placement in Shambhashi, which is a service provider company in oil and gas, reputed service provider company. So for because this is for young geologists who wanted to make the career, who wanted to make career in future in oil and gas. I wanted to give you advice that if you want to do something in exploration or development or service provider, wanted to work in this company, first step is to get yourself, enrolled in specialized courses like maybe in foreign countries you can go for in Norway. Norway is a hub for oil and gas. Or if you want to do for Indian School of Mines, you can study there, maybe MSc Tech, or because you have already done your 12th exam, but for the students who are in 12th, I would say them to get admitted yourselves to these courses in ISM because they have 5 years integrated courses as well. So and after also doing MSc from Punjab University, you can do PhD in foreign country. You can do some specialized institutes, PhD, or maybe Punjab University. Like there's a whole plethora of opportunity waiting for you guys. So it's just the way of thinking and somebody to advise you, which is very important, uh, right? So that's one thing. Second, first, right? So talking about careers in oil and gas, there are uh, many and you can be exploration geologist, you can be a petrophysicist, you can be a basin water, and you can be a development geologist, you can be a hydrogeologist, you can be a geophysicist. But for geophysicists, you have to do a physics degree in BSc, and then you have to enroll yourself to geophysics specialization in many institutes like BHU provide them. In IIT Bombay, they provide this kind of specialized courses, MSc Geophysics. Or you can be a GIS specialist after doing your MSc. So there are many opportunities that you can look for if you want to pursue your career in oil and gas. I'm happy to take questions if somebody you know, has any questions in mind. Hello? Hello? Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Yeah, if you have any questions regarding careers, like any advice, any guidance, you can pop up any question anytime. So, yes, please.
Ma'am, what
Yeah,
is
thank
the?
you.
I have a question that what is new in oil and gas industry these days? I mean, is it all about still exploring oil, or we are moving toward gas hydrates or another resources? I mean,
Yeah.
should we go for some new type of studies?
So you are from which this MSc or BSc?
Yeah, MS.
MSc second year.
Yeah, no, not from Punjab University though. But can you please guide? Can you please tell us?
Yeah, actually, I worked in Kane, but they are not doing any research or work in gas hydrates right now. They have fields in Barbe, they are exploring in Cambrai, they are exploring in Assam, uh, but they are not working in this gas hydrates because nowadays they are focusing in oil production to produce more oil and to explore oil in unexplored areas like Assam, Cambrai, fields. And also when I was working with Jindal, they were not into gas hydrates. Because maybe ONGC, I'm not sure about ONGC, but KN is number one in ENP, private companies, oil and gas companies to talk about. Maybe there is some research and development in some institutes. But I'm not sure. If anybody has any information, I'd be happy to listen to them. Hello?
Ma'am, what about mud logging?
Yeah, there is opportunity in mud logging as well. Uh, Mostly people who come from who do your MSc or BSc geology, they were more inclined to be do all these kinds of jobs because there's more growth in the service provider and exploration companies. Like mud logging, if you are interested, it's fine to be a mud logger, but most of the people they don't prefer to be a mud logger. It's quite not that much rewarding career you will find in mud logging. I mean, may I know who is asking this question?
Ma'am, this is Rahul Pawar from Maharashtra.
Are you doing MSc or what?
Yes, ma'am, I'm doing MSc in Petroleum Technology.
Uh, so it depends upon your own interest. I feel that if you want to be a mud logger, you can be. But, I'm just talking about as like geologist. Like, it depends upon your own interest. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am,
Okay.
thank you.
So next is the oil and gas operating cycle. Is the first you have to analyze your basin. You have to do some research studies, geological modeling, and if you are bidding for some field, you have to you have to give quotes. You have to do bid evaluation, and farming is when you want to explore some fields and farming out opportunity as well. If you want to give out some fields to some other companies, you have to farm out as well sometimes. And for that also, geologists are required. And prospectualization and discovery. So once you know that five elements of basin is present, source, seed, track, timing of migration, and charge. If these five elements are present, then you want to drill your well. And once you get uh, once you find any discovery from that well, you want to do appraisal drilling. Appraisal drilling is nothing. If there is a commercial quantity of oil, you find oil in that well, and you feel that field is proliferate, then you will do appraisal drilling. Appraisal drilling is nothing but you want to delineate this extent of your reservoir.
Excuse me,
So,
ma'am.
yeah, who is
Excuse
this?
me, ma'am. Ma'am, ma'am, it's Vidushi here. Ma'am, the voice is not clear. Can you please, if you are using earphones, you can just like detach them, or you can keep the mic closed.
Mm, hello, is it now clear? No? Hello?
Better. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, if once you delineate your reservoir, then you have to do some studies like 3D static modeling, facies modeling, petrophysical modeling, reserve.
Not still clear.
Okay, now is it clear? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Now it is. Yes, ma'am. Now it's clear.
So, you have to do Then once you delegate your reservoir, then you have to make a field development plan that you have to submit to the DGHA, Government of India, or if you are working for foreign country, then you have to submit that field development plan to the that government of that country's government. So once it is they approve the plan, like how many wells you will be drilling in each year and for how many years, then once that is submitted and that is approved by the government country's government, then you start developing the field. Then you start drilling the field, you do the completion, you do the surface facilities job and construction and installation, and everything you do, that is an engineering part, that is the logistics part, and then you start perforating on that intervals, bone intervals you feel, which are contain which has oil and gas, right? And then production management and optimization and reservoir management and wells intervention. And finally, when there is a cycle, 30-year cycle and 20-year cycle, when the field uh, uh, every field has a lifetime. So if it is 30 years or 20 years, it's a volcanic plastic. The lifetime is very low because it's a fractured reservoirs. Fractured reservoir has very low life cycle, maybe 10 years, 15 years. If it's clastic, then the life cycle increases to 30 years. So every field has lifespan. So after that, you have to abandon the field and you have to give back the field to the government of, in this case, DGH, or if it's other foreign countries, to the foreign countries' government. You have to hand over the field back to them. And there is a if uh, slide. So talking about the petrophysics. So petrophysics has a different role to play in exploration as well as development field. In the exploration field, if you want to know the reserve resource which is present in your field. For that, you need to know the porosity of the porosity. You need to know net to gross. You need to know water saturation, hydrocarbon saturation is 1 minus SW. So, and the fluid contacts and the fluid types, if it is oil, if it is gas, if it is unsaturated gas. So you need to know what type of fluid is present. Okay, and then giving the in petrophysics and other role also to play, that you have to give the logs, unedited logs to geophysics, like sonic log, density log, fluid saturation, fluid content, and in production operations as well. What sort of logs you want to go for? Like you want to go for cased hole logging or wireline logging, or this MWP, LW, MWD, logging while drilling and measurement while drilling. You want to evaluate the cement, you want to evaluate the casing and cased hole loss, and what's all the perforations, what are your intervals where you want to perforate to get the oil, to get oil and gas. So these all inputs have to be from the petrophysics, and to give inputs to the reservoir engineering as well, because they are taking this dynamic model. So what is the recovery factor? What is the permeability in the field? What is the horizontal permeability? What's the vertical permeability? You have to do well correlation, and as I said, 3D static modeling, which will be an input to a dynamic model. Reservoir engineers use that static model to make the dynamic model and to do history match. And finally, the product would be the FDP, field development planning. It has to be done according to the this reserve estimation. Right? So once you do for exploration geology, you have to understand the field, the regional geology of the field, and you have to develop play models. Play models, like what are the plays which are working in this area. As I already told you, like 5 elements are important: source, seam, trap, and charge, and this timing of migration. If all five elements are present in exploration field, then we say that the play is working. Petroleum system is working in this area, and play is basically different prospects. You have to delineate different prospects, different leads in that petroleum system. Like leads can be stratigraphic leads or structural leads. Structural leads can be anticline three-way closure, fault bonded three-way closure, and stratigraphic leads can be channels. You have to delineate the channels. You can see fans, channel fans, meandering channels, braided channels. These all are geological features which you can see using different seismic attributes, using the spectral decomposition. These are all seismic attributes which will help you to delineate your reservoir. If reservoir quality porosity is present or not, because if your reservoir porosity is not present, then it would be difficult to extract oil out of that that reservoir. So it's quite important, and it has to be oil or gas saturated. Okay, so seismic interpretation and structural maps. So different horizons have to be picked according to the interpreter, like mid Eocene, uh, upper Eocene, lower Eocene. So you have to delineate all the horizons which you feel that reservoir horizons are important to pick, as well as you have to pick the seal rock as well, right? Right, that is also important. And then you have, with the help of well logs, you have to correlate the well log from of different wells, which will help us to delineate the reservoir, right? So you have to correlate the seismic interpretation as well as the well log correlation to see where your sweet spot is present, where you feel that your reservoir is present. Then we have to do GDE map. GDE map is nothing but gross deposition environment maps. So what type of environment is present during that during Eocene or Miocene or Pliocene? What sort of environment is present? If it is a lacustrine environment, if it is a braided fluvial environment, is it marine environment? If it is a shallow marine environment, what sort of depositional environment is present is quite important. And how would you go for GDE maps? You will integrate both the well log correlation and seismic attributes and interpretation to see what sort of environment is present at that time using different because in exploration field in exploration phase we don't have a lot of information. What we have is paleogeographic information, as well as we have information of well logs and some core data. If you have some core data, it will give a lot of information. What if it's shale, if it's sandstone, if it's carbonate, if it's siltstone, if it is volcanic clastics. So you have to uh, look for you have to do your facial interpretation, and you have to think you have to think that if it is such kind of lithology is present, so what sort of depositional environment is would be there at that time. So that is that depends upon the geoscientist which is working on the field. And then you have to do lead identification and prospect generation. Like lead identification is nothing but you have to say that if stratigraphic trap is present or structural trap is present. And once you delineate that, like prospect generation, if there is if the location is drillable or not, if we find some commercial quantity of oil is present or not, if there is lead but if there is no commercial quantity of oil is present in that well which we will drill, then there is no use. So we need to understand that if there is a commercial quantity of oil is present or not. That comes in volume calculation, and also uncertainty is also very important in especially oil and gas in exploration field, because we don't know if commercial oil is present or not. there are n number of factors which we don't know because it's a new area. That's why out of 10, the success ratio is very low in exploration field throughout the world. So next is the basin modeler. You can be a basin modeler if you are if you're a geologist because you can do PhD in basin modeling, or you can groom yourself on the job to be a basin modeler. Basin modeler uses different software, which is a Trinity software or Petromod software, but so they do regional evaluation rather than looking to an area like a specific area, specific this they look for regional studies. They look for basin evolution, how this basin has been evolved through in in past time, and so the thermal history maturation, 1D modeling, 2D modeling, they do 3D modeling using the softwares, and they they want to know what the source, sea, reservoir, trap, and migration timing. They want to assess the source rock effectivity using different geochemical data. They use geochemical data like POC and vitrinite reflectance. So they have different laboratories, and chemists work on the source rock to understand what is the TOC value, what is the vitrinite reflectance of that source rock, and once they have the data, they give back the data to the geochemist or basin modeler to understand what is the source rock effectivity and the assessment of shale potential. Because nowadays, especially in US, they are looking for shale oil and shale gas. So you can identify that sweet spots also, and understanding expulsion efficiency. What would be the pore pressure history and present day overpressures before drilling? So there's also a pore pressure specialist working in ENP company basically to understand what would be the pressures before drilling, because they have to regulate the mud weights, right? So there is a need of pore pressure specialists as well in companies like service or exploration or service or ENP companies, whatever. And so migration pathways and what are the role of faults during the oil and gas migration, and understanding of origin of gas, maybe if it is a biogenic gas or non-hydrocarbon gas, then we are not interested in that. We need oil and gas, oil or gas. Understanding seal efficiency, if there is a seal, if it's an efficient seal or not, if there is an oil and gas columns present or not, understanding oil heterogeneity. And you need to understand that if in exploration field, if it's oil and gas shows which are present or not, and if it's oil and gas fields which are present in the area or not. If it is present, you have to calibrate that oil and gas shows to your 2D modeling, to your basin modeling, right? So that is one thing which a basin modeler does. So next is the development geologist. Development geologists actually work closely with the reservoir engineer and petrophysics, physicists and geophysicists to understand the model, the structural model of the field. Hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So to understand the structural model of the field, like it's called the 3D geocellular geological model, because from that structural model you are making a geocellular model, which is the static model, facies, and petrophysical model. And then you have to initiate your reservoir studies and integration of log, core, and seismic data. You have to integrate all these three to work closely with geophysicists to always update the model, because the wells are drilling. Uh, in a year, maybe 100 wells are drilling in a field. So you have to update the model according to the data which you are receiving from the engineer from the petrophysicist, or from the real time monitoring. You are getting some information. You have to update the models accordingly, and your model 3D model is keep on updating every year. So, and then after updation, you have to give back the model, the static model, to the reservoir engineer, and they will do the dynamic reservoir modeling, and finally they will come up with the reserve estimation. So, reserve calculation is a part of a development geologist as well as reservoir engineer. And then you have to do uncertainty analysis for because uncertainty is always present in a field. You never know like what sort of structure you will encounter once you will drill the well, right? So uncertainty is a part of exploration and development, but in exploration the uncertainty is more than in development field, because in development field you know the structure which is present, you know the deposition environment which is present, but in exploration field we are still not very sure, right? So in development field we want to do mapping, we need to do modeling, we need to do reserve calculation for that, using geostatistical approaches for existing fields and near field developments, including near field exploration prospects. And although it's not a part of a geology, but I just want to say that because they are working closely with each other, geology and geophysics, and uh, the role is very blurred because sometimes geologists are working like a geophysicist in ENP company and service provider company. So that's why I'm touching upon this subject of the geophysicists, because they also do the seismic interpretation, structural grading. They do mapping of the horizons, and they do the rock physics analysis. And using, because there are 20 to 25 seismic attributes which are present in softwares like Petrel and DSG. So they're using the seismic attributes to delineate the stratigraphic as well as structural leads and prospects in the area. That geologists are also doing. So that's why I said the role is very blurred. Sometimes geologists are also working like a geophysicist. Sometimes geophysicists are also working as a geologist, and they do seismic inversion for reservoir characterization, which is quite important in exploration field. Again, a lead identification, and they also do well proposals. So where you want to drill your next well, so it is coming from geophysicists as well as geologists. So it's an integrated teamwork, like petrophysicists, geologists, geophysicists, reservoir engineers. They all work together to understand like where to drill the next well in the field. So it's a very collaborative effort. It's not just one person make that decision. And again, you can be a GIS specialist. So GIS specialist, also a geologist can be a GIS specialist where you can build and maintain GIS database, use GIS softwares. It's ArcGIS nowadays it's used to analyze the spatial and non-spatial information in them, create maps and graphs using GIS softwares and data collection, and consult with external stakeholders to access consensus and fieldwork, satellite and aerial imagery. And if you want to build your next well, so you need a GIS expert or specialist to understand where would be your well coordinates, because you might there might be some village, or there might be some cities. So you want to avoid those cities, you want to avoid those villages. That's why you need your well coordinates, and that GIS specialist will give you exact location where your next well would you will drill your next well. So you need to enter new map data using cartographic principles. And that's all from me. Hello.
Yes, Neha, thank you. Now, students who wish to ask any questions, they are most welcome.
Hello, ma'am.
Either they can unmute or they can put their question in the chat box so that the coordinators can take the questions one by one.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, yeah.
Any
Ma'am, I have a
question?
question regarding the. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Ma'am, who all studies the environmental aspect of
Please,
all these
please.
processes? Hello, I'm Vidushi Sharma. I've done my MSc right now. MSc from Punjab University itself.
So you already done your MSc, right?
Yes, ma'am. Just now finished.
Okay, okay, yeah. What's your question?
Ma'am, my question was, who all studies the environmental aspect of all these processes? Because it might lead, there will be some environmental aspects as well to all the processes that you told.
Yeah, yeah. There is a environmental person is which is always associated with the ENP or service provider company. Why? Because hydrogeologists are also used because there is some hydrofracturing which always happens in development field. If the reservoir is very hard, if the reservoir is not that porous, so
Hmm.
environmental aspects has to be looked upon by a specialist person, which is an environmental scientist, which we call them. So they do a specialist job for these service providers and ENP companies, right?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Basically not service providers, but ENP companies, and they have to submit the data before drilling. Before drilling the well, they have to submit the document. They have to submit the document to the government of India. In this case, DGH or maybe some other government where you are working. You have the field of, right.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
I have one question that I want to start my career in ONGC. What I have to do after MSc Geology? Divya Deep. I'll say GATE nowadays when I was doing GATE is not required to enter ONGC, but now you have to clear your GATE exam. So you can study for GATE exam and go for an interview once you clear your written exam. Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
yes. Next.
Yeah, yeah. Any other question?
Hello, good morning, ma'am. My name is Raj Kiran. I just passed MSc from Punjab University itself. I have a question, ma'am, very basic question. Basically, ma'am, we theoretically study that when we drill, so normally hydrostatic pressure increases downwards. So we have also studied about this mud window that you have to drill in this particular mud window. So I was curious, ma'am, that if you have any experience that you can share with us all that where the mud window is crossed or that type of experience where overpressure is happening in a drilling. So I just want to know your experience, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah, so depending upon the lithology which is present, right, there might be a issue of overpressure. So every company has a pore pressure specialist, right? So they are basically geologists. The pore pressure specialists are basically have a background of geology, but they are more, on the job training. They understand the pressure regime of the particular area. So that's why you can be a pore pressure specialist as well. And mud weight has to be increased or decreased pressure of the area, pressure of the lithology which is present there, right? If you want, I can share you a document because it's a very vast topic. There's pore pressure.
Okay.
It's a
Oh,
specific topic, pore pressure, right? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. There is a
Yes.
question in the chat. Can you, by Suga Vanam ji? Can you name some private oil companies in India take master's degree completed students for the freshers post?
So basically, I would not trust upon the fact that only you can look for being a geologist in oil and gas company, because an MSc degree in geology will ensure you can work for various, not only in oil and gas, because geology is not only oil and gas. You can work for tunnel, dams company, you can work for construction company. So it's it's not a narrow subject, it's a wide subject. So I would say that oil companies, right now the oil and gas price are very low, like you must be knowing, $41. So industry is not uh, that good. When it was like in 2010, the industry was very good, like you have $120 per barrel, the price of oil. But right now it's 41 or 40, maybe, or maybe declining because of the pandemic as well. A lot of factors are affecting the oil and gas price. So I would suggest you to, if you're just out of MSc, I would suggest you to prepare yourself for GATE exam, because nowadays they take that GATE score for entering the ONGC. Uh, okay, so that's one thing which I will suggest. And no oil companies will, I feel, that will take freshers right now, because it's in a slump. Industry is going through a slump, right? So that's why.
Okay, ma'am. The next question is by Himani Yadav. How many years does it take to prepare or explore one economically potential hydrocarbon reservoir before exploiting it?
How many years does it take to prepare, explore one economical potential? So it depends upon the companies. Some companies are aggressive. They want to drill, um, they want to drill 10 wells before saying, we won't be drilling more because we didn't find any success in the field. Some companies will just drill two wells. How much money you have to invest, it depends upon that businessman, right? In Jindal, we were working, so we drilled just two wells before relinquishing it to the government of Georgia, right? So it depends upon the company. If you're a rich businessman, you want to invest more before saying no, I'm not going to invest more, because the success ratio of exploration field is very low. So it requires a lot of risk and a lot of money to invest, because it's $1 million business, right? So you will interact with your geologists, you will interact with the geophysicists, you will interact with your reservoir engineers, you will interact with your government also. And then you will have meetings with the government, you will interact with the person who is funding the business. So how much you can invest before saying, I'm going to relinquish it to the government, or to I'm going to give this asset to some other company, right?
Uh,
And you understand that depends upon the individual, the businessman, right?
the next question is by Rahul Pawar. How can we apply for internship in companies like Karen or Jindal?
Yeah, so you have to contact your HRs, right? Right now, you can go for this. You can um, you can drop a message in LinkedIn. I feel LinkedIn is a good source to get jobs, and you can directly call them. You can directly mail them. That is the only way forward, I think. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. The next question. Does the company have direct placement other than campus placements?
That I'm not aware of, because I was placed in campus only. So that is quite difficult actually. If you are not placed in campus, then you have to fight. You have uh, you have to work for this entrance exam, like GATE exam, or another government exams is also there. I just don't remember. Maybe anybody would suggest that there is a government exam, which entrance exam, which you can appear for. Forgetting the name, but maybe you can apply for net exam if you want to go for lecturership, or you want to do job in ONGC. You can qualify gate exam. Um, that's all I can think of right now. Hello.
Yes, ma'am. I think there are no more questions. So, good afternoon. I'm Manu from Department of Geology, and I would like to thank you for your
Yeah.
talk. It was a very informative and interactive session. New today,
Yeah.
AAPG
Yeah.
Panjab University chapter. I would like to thank you for choosing our platform to deliver your talk.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you, Neha. Thank you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you all for joining. Thank you, Manisha. Thank you, Manu, for organizing this. Thank you, Seema. All the students who have made this possible.
Thank you, Patnaik sir.